Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We're a positive band of British voices united in all things Disney. We're now in September, which means summer is on its way out, and in Disney parks they're getting ready for, what is it now? Christmas? Yeah, Christmas must be on the horizon. So Halloween was so last month, with the return of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I just can't believe all of that candy in that heat. It's like you must be having to eat it as you go round.
Oh.
So.
I'm not even going to think about it.
Just Halloween in August.
Yeah. Talking of parties, and as you can hear, I'm not alone for this show, and I'm joined by my fellow wafflers, Becca.
Hello.
Claire.
Hello, everyone.
Jill.
Hi.
And Peter.
Hey up.
I hope you're all well and rested from the summer. Did you have a good one?
A hot one.
It's been busy.
Never long enough. It's never long enough. And we're already turning towards, autumn, Christmas,
Halloween,
2023. Oh. Who knows?
Yeah.
2023.
I do love autumn and Christmas, though. Just in general.
My favourite season is autumn.
Yep.
I don't know, I'm more of a Christmas person, so in a way I'm just looking to hurry up Halloween, get it over with, and then it's like, I don't like pumpkin spice. So it's like,
Have you started your Christmas shopping yet, Ben?
Thought about it.
No, oh my God.
I've thought about, well, we're going to have to. Well,
I'm days away from writing the Christmas shopping list and the Christmas card list.
Well, everyone's energy bills are going up, cost of living, we need to spread it out.
Ben's birthday's over, it means I can start prepping for Christmas.
Yes.
That's true.
I'm a paper crafter, so I've had to start making Christmas cards in August.
Yeah.
And Disney have been thinking about Christmas since July, I think. So
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Christmas in
definitely.
July.
Before then, they were thinking about this Christmas last Christmas.
I'd love to know how that spreadsheet for Disney works of like, okay, we've got Halloween here. When do we need to plan? When do we need to look at? And we'll come on to planning a little bit later. But
I think they have people working on it year round. So they have a Christmas team and a Halloween team, and they have them just working on it all year.
Okay, which team would you like to be? Halloween or Christmas?
Ooh,
Christmas!
Oh, that's really hard.
I don't know. I'd like to put that first sort of pumpkin out in August, just in the searing
that would be really
heat.
cool, wouldn't it?
Or would you want to be on the spring team or the summer team? Because I'm assuming they have one for each season.
Yeah,
That's true.
they'll have different things. I think I'd probably choose Halloween.
Are you sure you wouldn't choose the Food and Wine
Christmas.
Festival team?
Well,
You need to test. You need to test the food and drink.
Like,
It's
so long. You might as well not stop working on that. Because it's just like,
But then Halloween, do you need to test all the candy?
Yes.
No, because they'll check the best before date and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's that.
It does last a long time. We've had some in the suitcase from a couple of years ago, and it's fine.
A bit chewy, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Still
it's
tastes of candy. So, but yeah, we're good.
It gets everywhere.
Depends on the candy.
Depends what you're eating, Peter.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a good August, especially here at the Great British Mickey Waffle. We had some amazing shows. We talked about, fairy tale weddings?
Yeah.
We did.
I'm still getting over the sticker shock from that. It's like, I'm glad we're already married.
Yes.
What he's saying, Becca, is that you would not be having a Disney wedding.
I know I wouldn't be having one.
Yeah.
There's always renewal of vows.
Okay, moving swiftly on, Peter. But yeah,
we can eject you from the stream.
But yeah, we're also joined by Robin from Sotiki for our mid-month show, where we spoke about costumes bounding and dressing up for Halloween parties and Christmas.
Indeed.
So,
I joined from Sweden, and you joined from the Canary Islands.
we were watching,
and we even had a little guest. We even had a little guest appearance from John on a Wednesday.
I know.
We did.
It was amazing to see John back on a live show and back with us. And we wish him well.
He will be with us. He'll be back with us soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yay.
Just don't know when yet.
So make sure you're subscribed and just follow us on, and you won't miss a thing. So we're only a few days away. We're in September, so there's a big event happening.
Is there?
Is there?
Yep.
What's going on, Ben?
D23 Expo, the first one since 2019.
Ooh.
What's that?
Have you not heard of it, Claire?
I haven't heard of it. Tell me about D23.
So for those that don't know, D23 is Disney's official fan event, which is held in Anaheim every other year, usually, barring a pandemic. So it's a great opportunity for fans to get together, as long as you can get tickets, and see what Disney has in the works. So updates from the company include film and TV, Marvel, Star Wars, and lots of news from the parks.
I do remember it. I know exactly what it is.
Yep.
It's the thing that makes me stay up all night into like 3, 4 in the morning.
Do you mean after hours?
Eating.
I was going to say, that's Jason, isn't it? Yeah.
It just, it's this thing that makes me sit and watch these panels at 3 or 4 in the morning with snacks and coffee.
A lot of coffee.
Right.
But yeah.
But it's good.
I remember the last one, and there was, due to the pandemic, there was a lot of changes. A lot of things that we've discussed, because I remember we did
a whole show on it back in 2019.
Yeah. And I think if you go back and listen to it, most of it didn't happen.
Yeah. So that was a great one.
We should have done that. We should have checked in what was left over that they might announce this time.
Well,
and what's been ditched.
Poor old Mary Poppins got thrown out.
Well,
she's been shelved. She hasn't been cancelled. She's just been popped on the shelf.
Yep.
And Haunted Mansion took them about a decade to get round to actually finishing. So you never know. There's always hope.
that is true.
I like to think she's sitting next to the Royal Dalton
musical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Becca, I'm 55. I can't wait much longer for things to get done.
You're still a spring chicken, Peter.
Oh. Well, at the very least, Tron must be about to happen at some point.
Well, that's true. We should get an update or the date for Tron, because I know when we were there in June, it was coming along very quickly.
Never mind Tron. I want a date for when the railway is going to be open again.
Yes.
When did we think Tron's going to open then? What's our guess?
November.
What, Thanksgiving?
Yep. Soft opening, Thanksgiving.
Very early November, like when we're there.
So, yes,
I think
it could happen.
I'm with you.
I think third week in November. I think coming into Thanksgiving weekend, probably.
I think the official opening date might be the beginning of December.
Or what they could do is what they've had habit of doing previously is, first week of November be media preview, second week DVC, third pass holder, cast members, all of that. Then a week, and then you straight to Thanksgiving, where it's open for everyone to break their phones out
I think you're right.
and get a virtual queue.
I think that's what will happen.
But that means we'll have to go back.
Well, we always need an excuse to go back.
How long does it take to buy DVC?
Here's our
Some of
card.
us might already be going back.
Excuse me, I work in catering. We can't afford DVC.
Have you thought of one of the Disney culinary programs? It's a great excuse to work out there.
I'm fairly certain they're hiring a pastry chef, Peter. I've been looking at the jobs.
I'm fairly certain.
They're hiring a pastry chef. I don't know which restaurant.
I miss my little cat. I miss little Cookie, our cat, too much.
You can take her with you.
Yeah.
How's
she doing? Not my wife.
Yes.
Well, take your wife too.
Yeah.
What was that? The screaming child running
I know. So sorry.
Last time
it was the motorbike.
And there was the motorbike.
There was a screaming child just running down the road.
Screaming children.
It's to make us feel like we're at Disney. That's all
What we need is an on-air sign outside the door. Just so it's like, we're recording.
Yes.
Please be quiet.
Silence.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go November for Tron, starting with the usual picture of phased opening for people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going September. I'm going very end of September.
You're hoping, Peter.
Well, they might
possibly
want to
wishing.
For the Christmas season.
I think it all depends.
Well, Christmas season starts, doesn't it, in November?
Yeah.
I think they're going to leave it till November because that will detract. They'll allow the 40th for Epcot to take place in October, and then Tron will take over.
And I think they will sneakily close Splash at the same time.
I was saying beginning of December, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Something is supposed to be.
Because I'm going.
Something is either opening or closing at the beginning of December. See, that was what it was.
We were thinking Splash will close as soon.
The airplane doors for me.
Well, yeah.
As long as they open the other side.
Yes, that's true.
As long as they don't close It's a Small World.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
have
that's fine.
a wife in tears if they close It's a Small World before.
You'll be breaking down the
It's bad
door,
enough.
Jill.
Bad enough with Paris being broken, being closed for a
Sorry,
refurb.
that was our fault.
Oops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
Ben,
Yeah.
Ben and Becca broke it.
Yeah.
they did.
45
okay,
minutes
so what
on
else do
that
we
boat.
think?
Okay, we've spoken about it. The railroad, I think, will be.
I reckon that
it-
will open the
it-
same time as Tron does.
See, I think they might open it earlier. I think the railroad needs to be done for Tron to open. I think there's a lot of the
I think
railroad
they're
that,
very connected.
especially
but
as
I don't think they'll open the railroad because of how much of Tron you can see.
I think it's especially because you've got the cast members that have been called back to do the training and everything ready for it. I think it will open
Apparently
a few
they've-
weeks
people
earlier.
have seen
Tron's been
cast
going
members
round.
try on the railway.
Oh, well, actually on Tron or the
No, on the
No, on
railway.
the railroad.
On the railroad.
Wow.
I think you're right. I think we might get the railroad mid October, Ben.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 4 weeks.
I think they're going
just
to keep everything clear off the beginning of October because they're going to want to focus on Epcot.
I think with the next announcement, I think we should stay with Tomorrowland because there is something that has been talked about a lot online for years, and I think needs quite a. Well, it's what I'm hoping. There's not much talk, but there's a lot of talk.
Going to get rid of Monsters Laugh Floor.
Well, and what are they going to do with Stitch? His Great Escape. And
I
what's
wouldn't
in
be
Waffle?
surprised if they had a whole overview of Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
Big
overhaul.
overhaul.
Big overhaul.
Yeah. Well, they've been painted. They've been decorated. They've been.
Everything's been painted and decorated, but
They've also
lots of
added
things
different clothes and
could do with a refurb.
and animatronics
Balance
to
could do with a
Carousel of Progress.
refurb. Stitch needs something in it now,
Yeah, even if it's a meet.
even if it's a meet and greet. It needs something
Yeah.
in there.
I don't know. It's weird because of the last D23 with a lot of things that had been shelved, been stopped. I think there's a lot riding on this expo to put Disney sort of back on the map because there's a lot going along down the road for Epic Universe with a new park opening in a couple of years. I think Disney won't announce a fifth park, but they need to make sure that everything in their parks are perfect or as good as they can be. So
They need to remain competitive,
Yeah.
don't they? I mean,
Yeah.
the prices. JPEG's already said prices are going to go up.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that's our
You know,
fault apparently.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, of course, we're buying the tickets.
Isn't it
Yeah.
always?
Yeah.
That's
Stop
always
buying.
what a narcissist says, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
your fault. So, I kind of think that we expect the prices to go up, and usually that means there is a small token gesture to make us feel it's worthwhile. I think that small token gesture might be that they need to remain competitive with the rest of the market, and how that manifests, I'm not entirely sure. I think we could see some work in Tomorrowland, but part of me thinks that may be in 2 years. That's not going to happen immediately. Even if they announce it, it's going to be a slow burn.
A little bit like they did with Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, which was announced in 2015. Things didn't happen to 2017,
prospectively.
and then it didn't open to 2019. So I think we're going to get a long-term vision.
And
So, talking of that park, talking of Hollywood Studios, what about the Toy Story restaurant?
That's due to open later this year or
That's
early next
definitely
year.
opening.
That's still being built.
That's what I'm just wondering if we'll get an opening date for that.
Probably will
possibly
actually.
a menu, maybe.
I remember when we recorded.
An advert for a pastry chef, maybe?
I remember when we.
A zero banana restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Well, it's supposed to be barbecue, isn't it? Which is great.
Yeah.
You can have barbecue bananas.
Another
Yes.
barbecue restaurant.
Yeah, it's a barbecue restaurant. Yeah.
Another one.
Well, there's nowhere in studios that does barbecue at the
They need
moment,
barbecue
is there?
apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nowhere
but-
in studios that does decent food.
I was going to say half
Well, yeah.
half of it in studios is a bit
Yeah.
rubbish.
Oh, Derby's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not into paying $200 for lunch, then there's not a lot.
Go to the lounge.
Not a lot of other options.
Yeah.
Are there?
Yes.
It's.
Baseline tap house.
It's fairly.
Oh yeah.
It's fairly.
Now,
ropey.
baseline's actually quite expensive.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
The
worth it.
pretzel's nice, but a pretzel and 2 drinks set us back about $30. So
Yeah, I think that there does need to be an overhaul of dining. It would be great if they
Yeah.
announced something else in studios.
I think you know
they really
the
miss starring roles.
yeah. You know where
I
you've got the
know,
smaller not kiosks, but the smaller dining areas along Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Fairfax Fair and
Yeah,
that sort of
I
market.
think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
needs an overhaul. I think
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of videos on the Disney Wish recently, and the quick service areas of those look incredible.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
think
they
they
do.
would be a perfect place because they do
Yeah,
barbecue,
I
they
think
do lots
you're
of
right.
different. And
Yes.
I think then also you could probably get rid of
Make it more
ABC
food courty.
commissary
Mm.
because I don't
Yeah.
think that
I know.
it's great for aircon, but that's it. I think it's a place that's
It's just a warehouse. It's
Yeah.
just. I mean, I suppose that may be kind of how it's intended, isn't it? It's a on set restaurant for.
Yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
theming is.
it's
But I agree with you though that down on Sunset Boulevard that whole section would be if they made that into more. I guess in my head I'm thinking like the sort of food courty bit in Africa.
yes.
In
Harambe.
Yeah,
Harambe
right.
Market.
Yeah, the Harambe Marketplace. If you made it more of like a marketplace type of event with some
That
specific
would be-
seating rather than
Yeah.
where on earth am I going to stand and eat this corn or whatever it is I bought. I think it would be really good actually.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit shaded there. It's not too busy.
Yeah.
You haven't got a lot of through traffic.
No,
So
that's
there's
true.
options to do a bit of a spill out as well.
Yeah.
My two things for studios are launch bay. That could do with something, and I think that should probably go back to meet and greets, proper meet and greet system.
They're
They're back to meet and greets at the minute.
Yeah, but no, not just Star Wars. Proper,
Okay, well,
proper-
where they
proper like it used to be.
proper like it used to be. Yeah,
That,
I think that could be
whole
useful.
area.
Yeah,
That whole,
that
That whole area.
area.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
just
It
needs
needs
like
doing.
someone to throw
Yeah.
some pixie dust over
Yeah.
it because
Little Mermaid.
or
Even the
just
Disney
like-
Junior stuff.
or just put up a curtain so it's like it's hidden.
Yeah,
just
it
it's one of those things
put
that
it behind a
needs
curtain
something
until we've got
needs.
some magic done
It
to
just
it.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel.
it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. There's
Yeah.
no.
What would you
no
put in
point
there?
going in there.
What
What would I
theme?
put in
What
there?
what kind of land?
I think they
slash-
could preview the 100 years in there.
See, I think that could be a museum, 100-year museum or 100-year
Yeah.
sort.
Well, would
sort
they
of-
not
yeah.
just
Well,
add
get some
that
stuff out of the
to
archives.
Could be. Maybe what they
Well, you
could
can
do.
back-
One Man's
you could
Dream is
extend-
right?
Well, extend
Right
One
on
Man's
there.
Dream
Extend that
all the
into
way
the Little
around.
Mermaid
You,
area.
what, Little
Into
Mermaid
100 years of Disney.
straight into launch
Yeah.
bay. You could do that whole area as
Yeah.
dedicated to Walt
And-
Disney and the
and just-
Disney company.
Pull stuff out of the archives.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because
And you could easily run that for 5 years.
that is the only park
Yeah.
that has
Touching it.
Walt's voice in the evening show.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
There you are, Bob. You can have that one. On.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be
We'll let
fantastic.
you have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I would love to see them do something in the parks for the 100 years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they've got two cinema theatres in that area as well. They've got the one in One's Man's Dream and they've got one in Launch Bay itself.
Yeah.
So they could have
so
a
you
couple
could
of
do
different
something.
videos running.
Yeah.
Do we think they're going to announce that? Absolutely
No.
not.
No, we will get something.
Should they?
Yes.
Yes,
They
of course
should.
I think
Do we
they-
think they'll announce any changes to that area? Do you think they've got something
know
in
what?
mind?
I
really-
think we might
I
get
really
a concept.
hope they do.
Some sort of long,
Yeah.
like concept art where it's just like, oh, that's a sketch in the distance. A bit like how Galaxy's Edge was and Star Wars for Disneyland Paris. It was like, oh, you can sort of just see the outline of the Millennium Falcon.
There's three areas that we're thinking going to be long distant projects in. Tomorrowland,
Yes.
that area in Hollywood Studios, and Dinoland USA, I think will be a long term project as well.
What? Just thinking about what there are in other parks that could be dropped into that area, because that's another favourite approach, isn't it?
Ooh,
Which
where would you?
which lands have they got in Tokyo and Hong Kong and Shanghai that could be copied into that space? I'm trying to think. Or do you extend that and put a Cars land area like you do?
Do you know what?
at
That would-
California Adventure?
See, I think we may not get. I think we might get an overhaul of Aerosmith.
That's the other thing that I was
Because-
going to mention.
So-
I think they're going
We've
to.
talked
Yeah.
about that
Yeah,
before,
and-
haven't we?
and-
Because they've got rid of Aerosmith. Yeah, so Aerosmith, they've moved away from Rock and Roller Coaster with Aerosmith in Disneyland Paris, haven't they? That's now Avengers Flight.
Flight.
Avengers Assemble Flight Force, continuing the great tradition of not being able to do acronyms.
AAFF.
Ah,
Oh,
Ah.
ah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that's Iron Man. We know that Marvel can't be in the parks in Orlando yet.
Depends on what
So
Marvel,
Depends on the Marvel characters though.
because it's the ones that have been.
Because could they.
What about Guardians?
Well, because Guardians
You've
is
already
over in
got
Epcot.
Guardians, haven't you?
Yeah.
mm.
But there are a lot of
Captain
New
Marvel.
characters.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, that would be good.
Miss
They could
Marvel.
import that.
Yeah, Miss Marvel. That'd
I
be.
don't see that being a roller coaster though.
Oh,
I don't think
gonna-
they'd import the Ant-Man and the Wasp from Shanghai because that's too much like Buzz.
And like the Witch.
How about
Yeah.
See, they could still use Captain Marvel in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have
So I
to.
don't
Yeah.
think she's associated with the Universal stuff.
Or do we not have it Marvel, but we carry on with the theme that carries a lot of the Hollywood studios at Pixar? Because there's been a lot of
I'm
talk
just wondering,
of Monsters
could you
Inc.
make it the Incredicoaster
Yes,
style?
Mm-hmm.
that would
maybe.
be good.
I think no.
Oh,
No,
Why
because
do you think no?
it's a bit too intense for...
You've seen Incredicoaster in Disneyland, haven't you, Peter?
Yes, I have, and it has one loop.
I still think that's
This
more.
has-
so does Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it also has corkscrew and
that doesn't stop a 6-year-old going
it's
with it.
fast.
I think no for a different reason, and the reason I think no is because they've got all the incredible. They had all of the incredible stuff, and all the decorations are still down where the old entrance for Toy Story mainly used
Yeah,
to be.
Pixar
Yeah.
Place.
Pixar Place.
Have they got that cars thing around there
Yes.
as well?
They do.
Yeah.
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 So yeah,
So
part of me wonders whether that's the option to put some Pixar where the Rock and Roller Coaster is,
Yeah.
and then bring that through
They
to a
could
launch
they
bay
could do a
and stuff
digital
is-
sort of.
Have the whole all the way through, like they're going to be doing in Disneyland Paris.
and then
Yeah.
that links over to Toy Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story Land,
And
doesn't it?
keeps
You can
Pixar
have, like,
also sort of that section, and
It basically means the right side of the park is Pixar, the left side is Star Wars. That's your choice.
you've got Indy
Kind of.
just lost in the
Indy's
middle.
somewhere in the middle.
Indiana Jones
See,
clinging on with fingernails.
See,
in
that's
the middle.
why- that's
Don't
one of the
you
reasons I
dare move
don't
me.
think they'll do it. I think it's too much of one IP in an
That was
area.
another thing that I heard for Rock and Roller Coaster was an indie makeover.
That will depend on how well the film does
New film
in
does, yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the
I
year.
think it all depends
or
on
next
the
year.
licensing for Aerosmith, because I know there's been a few issues recently over the past couple
Isn't
of
it
years.
due
I think
to
it's-
They've gone to
soon?
Yeah, they've gone to Universal.
Yeah.
Universal Music.
Yeah, so it might not be long before.
I mean, they could just keep the exact same theming
Um,
and change the band.
Or they could just pay the licensing fee.
Yeah,
Depends
but
how-
are they going to pay the licensing fee to their competitor?
Well, they didn't pay the licensing fee for Hallmark to keep the great movie rights. So why
That's
would they
right.
pay it to Aerosmith?
that is true, but they have the thing with Universal that about the Marvel characters.
Yeah.
So it's
That's maybe. We will pay the
we'll be interested to
theme,
know
the-
how.
Yeah.
licensing fee for Aerosmith if we can use this character over here as
I
well.
kind of think we might see a concept for that side of the park
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
overhaul it, because when you look through sort of park transformations, we went through the Galaxy's Edge stuff.
Yeah.
That's all complete. We've got Epcot still going through lots of construction. That's going to be another year probably, isn't
Yeah.
it? By the time all the waterfalls and everything are done. Animal Kingdom, Dino Land has got to have
It needs something.
They've just taken a big ride out, which took up a lot of space, and not done anything with it apart from it's for stroller park.
I was going to say, they've turned it into a stroller park
Yeah.
So it's either they
I
know
feel
what they're going to
sad.
use it for.
and they're waiting to make the announcement.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, exactly. I
They
kind of
haven't
feel
got
sad
to
that it's just been kind of left and assumed that people don't really go to that side of the
How
park.
much
And,
money does it make for the games and things? How much money
I
does
don't
it
think
I
make?
don't
much.
think
Probably
it's
not
not about
much.
the money, to be honest with you, Peter. It's about the
Yeah.
concept for that
Yeah.
area that they're
Yeah.
really they've clung on to and clung
And
on to,
they
even
need
though
to get rid of
nobody
it.
else understands it.
See, I
Until you-
think
so-
if the Indiana Jones film is good, that could be a great area for Indiana Jones, because you've got
Yes.
and what, and
dinosaurs.
change dinosaur into
To
Indy, like
Indy,
it is
and
now.
Indy,
Yeah.
and the rest of it you can adapt, you can change, and
well, it wouldn't be an Indiana Jones area per se. It would probably be
like an archaeological or a,
well, it would probably be either an archaeological dig site,
How
or
does
it will
that
be.
fit in the concept of Animal Kingdom then?
That's the thing.
yeah.
Or it will be something like. See, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they moved it to more of a South American theme, South American rainforest conservation, that
What's
sort of.
the-
If you go for up,
What's the
Maybe a bit of
kids-
Encanto in there.
Isn't there an archaeological
get the
kids
golden
play
retrievers
area
in
in?
Yeah.
Boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
but-
so
but
if you have the boneyard, why can't you expend that out and make it the whole place an archaeological dig site?
Because I don't think that's very appealing to kids these days. I think if I said to, so I've got the target audience. So I've got a target audience at home. If I said to Millie, "Do you want to go and ride that ride, or do you want to go and dig up some stuff in some sand?" I kind of know what she's going to say.
She's going to say,
No,
Mabel
not
can
the
dig up the
latter.
sand.
Right? So maybe you could if you brought up and the dig together, you could definitely have a whole load of Labradors or Golden Retrievers and a digging area. You've lost me for the day. I'm there. Don't just leave me there.
You know, it's
Chop
a bit
me off.
like
It'd be
where you have like a cat
it'd be amazing.
cafe.
Yeah.
Like calming,
Yeah.
relaxing you.
You can do like the you can do the golden retriever experience. I'm
Yeah.
going to book it, but that would be amazing. You could just have loads of dogs. Everyone would be happy.
And
It'd
to
be
keep
like
Bob
a
Chapek
therapy
happy,
area.
it would cost an extra $10 on your Genie Plus.
That's fine. I'd pay it every day. I'd pay it every single day, and that would be like my therapy for the whole time that I'm there.
I do wonder also that there have been rumours and suggestions about Wakanda area.
A couple of years
that'd be
ago, I
cool.
would have said yes, but a lot of it's going to depend on the new film and what direction
Yeah.
they're taking that now that Chadwick Boseman
Yeah.
has
Oh,
passed on.
Don't you think it'd be cool? Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
it
my
would be
brain's going
amazing.
160
Part of me
now
thinks
now.
this belongs in
If you
Epcot.
change the dinosaur ride into a Wakanda ride, which was hosted by Suri,
Yeah.
I'll have
by
a,
Shuri,
yeah.
who
Yes.
like doing like these amazing things, and
Yeah.
then you went through a trip through trying to find the vibranium, and
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that would be like an awesome ride.
Well, they could keep it with the time travel through and then have it endgame themed.
You could.
That'd be
You
quite.
could.
I could see it. I just.
Yeah.
Part of me's torn because a lot of
think-
Wakanda's about technology. So part of me would have felt that would have felt better in Epcot in like a future,
I
but
think you're right.
and I still think Guardians is in the wrong park.
And how
Yeah.
different really would that be from the Blue Planet,
I mean, Pandora.
Pandora? How different would that really be from Pandora?
Well,
Sorry, I'm
I don't know.
I'm just
It's-
asking the
to be
question.
fair, no, I get that. And to be fair, Wakanda is technically, even though it's fictional, it is in Africa.
Yeah.
And there is already an Africa section
So
of that
it's the wrong
park.
side of the
It's
park.
the wrong side of the park.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they should change Rafiki's Planet Watch into Wakanda.
See,
Yeah.
that,
Then you
yes.
have
and,
to
and
get
the
the
train you
bullet-
get to, yeah,
Change the train, make it
Yeah,
one
Yeah.
of their
be good.
trains.
Right, so we've come up with two amazing ideas.
There's one that I think is
Just
quite
saying.
controversial, and we know it's being worked on in the parks, and where I think it's going will upset a lot of people.
Ooh.
And that's in
Go on, babe.
Epcot. What's everyone's favourite film of last year? Disney film.
You're talking
Encanto.
about
Yeah.
Encanto. And
Where's it going? Where do we think it is
see,
going?
this is where we have the difference of opinion.
there have been
But it doesn't
rumours
fit with
about,
any of the countries.
Mm.
But I think it could go into Imagination Pavilion.
No, I think
No,
it's
but
going.
they have.
I think
Go
it's
on.
going to Morocco.
Really?
I
Yeah,
think
they are. They
there
are
is-
currently
There are
emptying. Yeah,
big rumours about it changing
it is currently.
to a Colombian.
Whereas I think it would be better over in Animal Kingdom where Dino Land is.
I don't know. I don't see it fitting in either. Of
I
those.
think
don't
everything's
want to change
currently
Morocco,
closed
'cause I
up.
love Morocco.
See, that I have a feeling it will happen, but but
There is a space in World Showcase, though. There is enough space
There's-
in
there's
World
five
Showcase.
there's 5
spaces.
spaces.
Yeah.
So they
There's
could
5
put,
spaces that haven't been used.
They
so
could.
they could put
We have
Colombia
this-
in.
I just think it's coincidental.
We have this conversation every single time.
Yeah.
And, you know, Brazil's coming, or
Yeah.
South America's coming, or Spain's
or
coming,
Poland
or
or
Australia's
something. It
coming.
was yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? It just
Bring
it never,
Australia.
ever-
Yeah.
it
Big
never
Australia, you've got all the
happens.
Maori stuff. That would
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. So
No.
I don't think there'll be an
I'm
additional
not sure
one.
I believe those.
I don't think there'll be an additional one. I think if they're going to do anything, it will change. The
It will
existing
change
one.
Morocco, yeah.
And I think it's just because the way that they haven't, not much has come back with Morocco from what it was before. It's only there for the Food and Wine Festival currently. There's only a seating area, and that's it. Everything else is closed. There's no shops open. There's no
Yeah, they've just made the big restaurant, into a lounge, haven't
Yeah.
they?
which is only temporary
Medicare
for
or something.
yeah. So I think it's something that it's just something that's just making me think that
And the Moroccan government have pulled out from sponsoring and supporting.
They have,
yeah.
So they've got a gap in terms
And
of
what would fit quite
sponsorship.
nicely would be Encanto, which I don't know.
But it
Colombia.
doesn't fit with that setting. It does. Colombia and Morocco look nothing alike.
No,
They'd
but-
have
Yeah,
to
but
rip
you'd
it
have to
out and
retheme it.
retheme it
Yeah.
all.
Well, actually, you wouldn't
I
have to
don't want
rip
to
it
rip
out.
it out.
You could have.
You would
the
have to
village.
rip it out.
You'd have to rip it out.
No.
It would be.
You'd have to rip the whole lot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that would be.
It would be
that
a
would actually
shame.
be quite
It
devastating.
would
be a shame.
it would drag an awful lot of people there because as you walk around World Showcase, we don't talk about Bruno.
See, I don't think they will. I think
See,
they've
I think
finished
you
with
could-
Epcot for now. Once they've finished with what they've been doing with it, and they'll move on to the other parks
I
because
think you're probably
they
right,
need
Becca.
needs some TLC. The other parks
So I
do.
can imagine them putting Encanto in theming into Imagination Pavilion because of you go through each door and there's a different room concept and they imagine all of that stuff.
But they want to keep Figment.
Figment, the star of Encanto. You could just get him to appear occasionally.
See, if they want to keep Figment, the easiest way for them to do that, if they're going to get rid of the ride, is to make him the narrator on Spaceship Earth.
You absolutely need to get rid of that ride though because it's dreadful and
Yeah.
it's clunky and it's.
It
You know
doesn't
what?
fit.
I love the Imagination Pavilion and I always go on the attraction and I'm always sad because it's just so outdated and
Yeah.
it feels a bit like the Wonders of Life Pavilion when it was dying when there was no wonder of life left in it. It kind of feels like
It
that.
feels a bit like Impressions de France.
If they were to... if they
That's what they need to announce, a new version of Impressions de France for the 40th, which actually looks like France in the modern day.
They were at the last D23 talking of updating Spaceship Earth and giving that a new renovation and turning it into more of a storytelling of the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
If
We
they're
decided
going-
on the last podcast.
If they're going
so,
down the storytelling imagination route, Figment would be a great narrator for it.
Let's do what we said on previous Wednesdays in the show where we've talked about having a pick and mix. You can choose your narration.
Yeah.
Just
If you want a
Classic
Figment,
like
there you
that.
go. If you
You can record a Figment, so you can have Figment for the kids if they want to listen to Figment narrating it. It'd be great fun. But then also have the options of Walter Cronkite, Jeremy Irons, and Dame Judi Dench.
We
And
get
you
Morgan
can choose
Freeman
your
to narrate it as well.
Yeah.
But I think to have the options, or so you can choose, or you can choose potluck and you get whoever you
Oh,
get.
that would be good.
I think it would be so you can actually.
I think they should
specifically
do
go, well,
a-
actually, I want that one, or you go random generator.
I've had an
and you
idea.
Get what you get.
You need everyone that works
so
at a Disney
great.
company, whether it be Marvel, Star Wars, to record it. So
You get Groot to record it.
That's just I am Groot
Groot.
all the way around.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
Oh,
Or let's have Loki record it. Let's have Loki narrate.
That I can get behind.
As long as you don't see like a
And we
hologram.
just keep going round all day.
See, what you could do with a new version of Spaceship Earth is you could have holograms appear of them doing
Well,
the
the
narration.
characters doing the
So
narration.
you could have
going
like
round.
Loki, Thor.
Well, Loki would work because he can do illusions.
Right? This is all going the right direction. Okay.
I think the
We're,
one
I think
thing,
we're
to have
marvelling
the
up
options-
Spaceship Earth. You do realise it's ain't it?
the
To
one
have the
thing they
option of
will
a different
announce.
narration would be brilliant.
Go
The
on,
one
Peter.
thing they will announce is Moana.
yeah.
Water.
Journey of Water.
Journey
they've
of
already
Water
announced
will be
it.
announced.
Yeah, but they'll give us a date.
Yeah, well, they give us a date.
Do you know what? I have a feeling
Reckon?
that's going to be open
They
by
should.
Christmas. Looking at construction from when we were there and what it's like recently, it's not that far from what
Yeah.
they could do to open certain parts of it.
I'm
First of November.
surprised.
1st of November.
I'm
1st of
surprised
December.
it's not further. The whole area is not further on. I'm surprised they didn't want it all done and finished by the 1st of October.
I think,
I think they'll be aiming for the 40th. If they're going to open
Yeah.
it, they'll open it for the 40th. I
yeah.
think.
And
They'll
I,
be pushing on at least.
I think they need to get it to a stage, I think, that that'll be complete and you'll like have possibly certain areas that are sectioned off where they build the festival building next year and that sort of areas.
Could we get someone to go and have a little look for us, do you think?
Yeah.
For a Wednesday coming up.
I think so.
Yeah.
Who do we know who could go and have a little
We've got a few
Could we
friends
go
round
in
on the
the
monorail.
Orlando
Yeah.
area. That's a good.
Just a little trip around the monorail. So we could go and have a chat with a friend and see if someone could go and have a little,
Ooh, yeah.
little monorail journey for us.
I love that idea. Okay, so
Cunning.
I think we've covered all the parks, haven't we? Well,
Yeah.
What about Disneyland Paris? Are they going to
Disneyland
announce
Paris?
anything for DLP?
I don't know.
Because they've now completed Avengers Campus.
So
Yeah.
they might.
Maybe an opening date for the Disneyland Hotel, perhaps. I think
Yeah, that's
probably
true.
we'll be looking at Christmas 2023.
Probably an update on
Um,
construction from Frozen.
Yeah.
There might be a few more concept art
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
things
I
from
think
that.
you're right. I
but-
think you're right. I don't think we'll see the Disneyland Hotel reopening before Christmas 2023. They're
No.
still redoing the roof at the moment, so it's
Yeah.
going to be a while.
Yeah.
You might get it for October, but it's not going to be before that.
I think
That's
if
fine.
they do Tokyo, anything from Tokyo, they will do the new big hotel that's opening. They
Which looks
they will
amazing.
announce that, which is well underway.
Yeah.
Shanghai that's having Zootopia, isn't it?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is, yes.
Yeah.
So there
yeah.
might be some
That's not
information
far
on
off from
that.
finishing. I don't. From what I
No,
understand.
No, I think that'll be early next year.
Yeah.
That'll be
And,
spring next year, I think. or
Hong
maybe
Kong
summer
has just
that
had the
ends.
castle redone. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to do much in Hong
No.
Kong.
Tokyo's 40th is next year.
So we might get some stuff to do with
So-
that. Or
That-
So I
Yeah.
think we'll get new fireworks, new parades, new cupcake.
Yeah.
the usual.
okay. Talking of parades, do we think the nighttime parade will be announced to come back to Walt Disney World?
Please, 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 please.
I don't think we will.
No,
I think.
no. I think Enchantment is fitting. It's fitting the gap. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I think
The
Enchantment is
rumour is
sufficient.
that Enchantment is going to go and they're going to bring back.
A 100 years version of Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After.
Well,
Nah.
no. I think if they're going to do anything, they should do what I thought they should have done with Happily Ever After and add a segment that's for 100 the years
Yeah.
of Disney. Maybe a short-term thing for 6 months to a year.
They don't need
But-
it.
But no, because
Very
it doesn't.
simple.
As I say, I think Enchantment is sufficient.
Maybe
Not
what
just
what
that.
they might do is change the intro beforehand. You know, like what we were talking about with Harmonious, where we feel it's a little bit not sort of joined
Do
up
you think they'll
together in
add
the
that in?
middle. I wonder whether they
Do you
might.
think they'll add the intro to Harmonious, the bit that we saw on the live?
I think
Would be
it might.
nice.
It'll be nice.
Do you think they'll add that little bit in the beginning that helps you understand what on earth it's all about?
That's true.
Possibly,
I think
yeah.
it'd be
Nice.
nice.
They'll probably give you a
It
guide.
cost them nothing,
They'll probably give you a little guide. It's like, this is what it's all about.
But
but it would cost nothing
for
because
a
they've already got it.
100 years show or anything like that, they don't need it. They've already got one in Hollywood. In fact, they've got two in Hollywood studios.
Yeah, that's true.
Correct.
They
Yeah.
don't need to do a new one. They just need to advertise those ones.
And we'll
more.
get the date for Phantasmic. I hope.
I would hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
What about in Disneyland? Do you think they might do something for 100 years in Disneyland?
I would hope so.
I think there should be something.
In theory, there should be something across all of the parks.
I know
It's a different
Disney-
company.
I know they announced back in 2019 that they were going to have the Quinjet as their big sort of add-on to Avengers Campus, but that got shelved along with Spaceship Earth. So
And
whether
about
Do you
an
think they
add-on
might
to
use-
World of Colour.
Maybe.
Might do.
oh, I know what is coming to an end in Disneyland, and that is the nighttime parade. It was only on a 6-month run.
Do you
Main Street
think they'll
Electric
bring back
Parade.
the one that they had for about 2 months back in
Oh, what,
beginning of
Magic
2020?
Happens?
Yeah, Magic Happens.
I hope so because I liked that, but it's
I've got
Bring it
all those-
over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Bring
I've
it
got
to
all those-
Paris instead.
we'll
all those
accept anything.
notes.
I think Disneyland Paris might get a new parade.
Yeah.
Because I think the what's it called? The Disney Stars on Parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just got a stupid name.
Yep.
It's now what, 8 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's got the catchiest tune.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really great tune.
Yeah.
And it leaves everyone wanting to Charleston up Main Street
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yes.
But I think it needs it's ready
Yeah.
for a refresh. And I'm wondering whether for Disneyland Paris they might put a new parade in.
Hopefully they'll get rid of illuminations
I don't think they will. It's so popular, Peter.
in Paris.
People-
I
it's an absolute,
think it
it's
will
such
stay
a
because they
crowd
only just
absorber.
updated it. There was a lot of work
Yeah,
done with
they've
the
just-
castle,
and
and
it's
it's been adapted for that, and it looks
Yeah.
so much better than what it did previously.
Mm.
And the drones for the 30th.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Oh, the drones.
Oh, the
they've
drones
added
are
all that-
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Actually-
they've added all that stuff in. It's not going
My
anywhere
only
at the
wish
moment.
list-
The
That I-
drones
that
are
I want
separate.
now.
They could have that wherever they want.
Yeah, I'm going to steal that, Peter. I want them every park.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
think that drones belong in a few other Disney parks.
Yeah.
So the drone show that they're using in the Avengers campus in Disneyland Paris is incredible
Yeah.
with all the Marvel stuff. Do they have that already in California?
No.
No.
I think that
I
might
think-
be what's
yeah, that's
announced
true.
in Marvel's campus in California. Then those
Okay.
drones.
Because I don't think we've seen
Because that's
Flying
amazing.
Spider-Man since the Incident.
Since he had his accident.
Yeah.
That's because he was injured. He's in hospital. He's going to be out of action for a little while then.
Oh dear.
Thank you for listening to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We would really love to hear from you, and you can find us at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com. There are many ways that you can support us, and the easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on your podcast app. And why don't you share the show with your friends too? Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe for even more waffle. Now, back to the show.
Wow, that's an awful lot of stuff talking about D23. I know I'm excited. I think have we all got coffee ready to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch it?
I've got super strong coffee ready to brew.
I've got work.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I've got work and I'll be getting up
No.
at 5 anyway, so
just set
We'll
your
just be
alarm.
back from holidays, so
Yeah.
you know, I'll be ready for it. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait.
So
to
what was
see
it? The
happens.
9th, 10th and 11th of
Yeah,
September.
and it's sold out. Every day is
Yeah.
sold out now.
Yeah.
So if you were thinking of going, you can't.
You can go.
Well, you can, but you can't get in.
Let me in.
It's like that at the window.
Try.
It's like,
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
What's going on?
so, but you can, if you go onto D23's website, there's going to be plenty of Facebook streams as official, and there's a lot of things.
Oh, there'll be more streaming than you've ever seen
Yeah.
before in your life.
Also, keep an eye on our social media, because if there's any highlights, we will post them. But we
Yeah.
are going to do a show on the
We did
13th,
two shows on it,
14th.
haven't we?
Yeah.
on the Wednesday.
14th. The
14th, we're
It
doing
was
our
on
live
14th.
show.
On the Wednesday, we'll be doing the on the 14th we're doing the live show,
Yep.
which will be joined by friends to talk about a wrap up of things that happened and what we're going to do.
Friends who were there.
Friends
who
who
were
are
there.
there.
So
In
we'll
real
have, be able
life.
to have a chat about their experiences with it.
yeah.
But following that, on the 15th, we'll have a mid-month show where we'll be talking about what did we get wrong from tonight's predictions. So it's like,
all of it.
yeah. So
But I think that's going to be fun because we'll have had a quick chat. You know, an hour
Yeah.
on a Wednesday isn't going to be enough to cover it, and,
No.
and actually to go a bit deeper into it for the month show on the 15th. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that
It's 'cause-
because we can really dissect the stuff that we didn't predict.
And
Yeah.
also, they have a habit of announcing something at the weekend, and then a few days later, here's some more concept art that we didn't see of projects that occasionally happens. So,
Yeah.
and we get to just
I
talk about it, waffle about it even more.
think there'll be some sort of technology update as well, which I'm
What a
I'm
fixed
interested to
Genie
see what it's
Plus.
gonna- I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some. There's always something tech
That is true.
that doesn't work. So
I think that there will be a lot of talk about VR, metaverse. There'll be a
Yeah.
lot of things that.
Do you think they'll bring back APs? Annual passes for
I really-
Orlando.
I-
Do you think they'll?
They need to
I
come
hope
back
so.
because at the minute it's just renewals, and it's like
I know that would be great.
Bob Chapek has said that we want more money from people. So it doesn't mean the price will go up for those APs.
I think
or,
but I think if they brought back annual passes, people would buy them.
yeah,
Yes,
I think
but
people were ready to buy
then
them.
they wouldn't be buying
So-
individual day tickets, which cost
more.
more in the long run.
But how many people are actually abstaining
Yes.
from going? Just going, no, I'm not going because
Nobody
it's,
Because all of the
It doesn't make any
locals,
difference. People are still going to go.
yeah, they're still
Just
going to
the
pay. They're still going to buy
current
Genie
residence
Plus. They're going to buy the
passes
food. They're going
still-
to get their money one way. As long as they get you in the park, that's all that matters. Whether it's by APs or by day tickets, people are
You're
still
going to
going to
start
buy it.
singing Blondie there, one way.
Or-
one way.
That was
still the
the
best song on Guardians.
Yeah.
That would be like Bob Chapek's theme tune. He should come out to that when he does the panel.
Have you seen he's got a beard?
Has he?
Bob Chapek.
It's hysterical.
I will put a picture in now of Bob Chapek. They did an earnings
Oh my
call last week,
goodness, it
and
made
he's
me
got a
laugh.
beard. Do you think he's going in disguise for D23?
Well, so he doesn't. Well, not anymore. Everyone's seen him with the beard,
not a good
unless he's planning on
disguise.
shaving it off.
Not a very good one.
He's
He's
going
been
to,
waiting for
Honestly,
Harmony
I wanna hear-
Barbershop to reopen.
yeah.
If he doesn't have Blondie singing, I think we should superimpose it over any footage.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, moving on from D23, we're going to talk about it a lot and make sure you subscribe to everything we do because you're not going to want to miss any of the fun stuff we've got coming up. And talking of fun stuff, we all love planning our trips, holidays, vacations to the most magical place on earth. So, did you know the average time for planning a Disney trip is about 12 months?
Sounds about right.
I don't know.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is by the time you've worked out
Sometimes you-
what's the Disney offer, then you've thought, oh, flights. Sometimes there's probably that mental planning of like, I've had this trip booked in my head for 4 years, but
Yeah.
it's just.
I mean, we've been talking about next year's holiday for the past 5 years, so
Well, yeah.
That's a very good point. But 12 months is plenty of time to book your flights, argue over where you're going to eat, and choose the seats on the plane that will hopefully get you off first to avoid all of those queues in immigration. So now you're only a day away from your trip. Nerves, excitement, anxiety kicks in. But it's your travel day, or your pre-travel day, as some of us like to call it. So what makes a good travel day? Where should we start?
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to be really honest here. I find the fascination with travel day really bizarre, because I know in my house, that's like, if you're going to go and watch a vlog, like travel days, or like read someone's trip report or a blog or something, travel days, like the thing that everyone goes for.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, really? That's fascinating. But people absolutely are hooked on them because they're so individual and people do things so differently. So I think it's really fun that we're talking about this. Me, the day before, I'm probably still packing.
There's always that last minute you've got to like, oh, I've forgotten about this, let's put it in. And it's just like that last minute sort of thing that more recently...
We're packing cubes.
Well, more recently with COVID and things, it's been like the testing, it's like the anxiety
Yeah,
around
that.
that. Luckily that's gone now, so it's now a more enjoyable pre-travel day. But it's, for us, we've always gone to an airport the night before.
It's part of the holiday.
Yeah.
What's an excuse to go you started a day early.
Yeah.
So it's like
Part
you
of the
can
holiday.
put your out of office on, in the car, off to the airport. Hopefully I've packed everything. If not, tough, I'll buy it while I'm out.
triple check my pass that I've got my passports.
Yeah.
I think there is that thing about, reducing, it's like the risk management approach. And I know that sounds really sad, but reducing the anxiety of I'm going to get stuck in traffic on the way to the airport and miss my flight. I remember as a kid when we would be driving super fast. I remember one particular holiday where my parents hadn't made sure the cat had their vaccinations, and so we had to do like a mad dash to all that stuff. It was a nightmare. We nearly missed the flight. And so I think that's probably scarred me. I have leftover trauma from that. Yeah. I like to go to the airport, and we only live an hour and a half from the airport, nearest airport. Not even that, actually. I've done it in like an hour 10. Yeah. But I think that if you are at all worried about missing a flight, if that's something that would cause you anxiety, then I don't know any people who wouldn't. Then going to the airport the night before actually can be really fun, and we've done that now consistently for the last 8 years. That actually you can get a really reasonably priced airport hotel, sometimes on site, sometimes just off site.
Yep.
And you can have dinner, you can just chill.
You get breakfast the next morning.
Stay up late.
It's so much that you can.
I tend to do breakfast in the lounge, but
Okay. No, that's how the other half live.
It's odd for us, I think, because we used to live in London, and if we were flying anywhere from Heathrow, we were 20 minutes away in a taxi.
Okay.
So it really wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But for Gatwick, we did. We did stay overnight the night before. The first time, basically, because the airport had been shut for a week due to snow, and we weren't entirely sure that we were actually going to fly.
You might as well have it just in case somewhere to stay.
So yes, we actually managed to check in.
I think we got one of the last hotel spaces because the hotels were bulging.
Yeah. The day that the news actually announced Gatwick is reopening, boom, everybody booked hotels. But then the second time we decided, no, let's do it anyway because it's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And the Premier in Gatwick North is so
brilliant.
easy.
That was always our go-to.
Everyone,
Even if we stayed at South, even if we're flying from South, just because you can get the
we
monorail
get
from one to the other.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes. It's like 2.5 minutes to the North Terminal to stay. And actually, we're doing that when we go next month in October. We're staying at the Premier Inn. Because I have to say, when I went in May on my own, I stayed at the Sofitel. Just saying.
Why not?
I'm going to go with the family and stay at Premier Inn. Not going to let anyone read anything into that at all. But I think there is a hotel for every budget.
Yeah.
So the Premier Inn is probably the most budget, although the Block Hotel
Yeah.
at Gatwick is also really good value. It is like sleeping in a cupboard, but
It's only one
you know,
night. It's like
exactly.
you can
That's
eat in the
kind of thing.
airport, go to the room, sleep. Oh, I'm going on holiday now. It's
And actually, all of the hotels, so the ones on site, the Block Hotel, the Sofitel, and the Premier Inn, all have family rooms.
Yep.
They all sleep up to 4 people,
Yep.
in varying degrees of luxury.
Yeah.
And they've all got a restaurant and they've all got a bar. Apart from, I think the Block Hotel, you have to go into the terminal for some decent food, or over to one of the other hotels. The Sofitel is obviously significantly more expensive. And I think that's probably the reason we made a departure over to the Premier Inn. But do you know what? The food at the Premier Inn is great. The bar is friendly. There's a Costa in there that's open till late and open early. It's actually just a really chilled atmosphere, and everyone there's sort of like this buzz of everyone's going on holiday or they're travelling, and you go in there. And actually, I've met a friend in there that I hadn't seen for about 10 years. We bumped into each other in the bar at the Premier Inn. It was
we've stayed there
but
about half of our trips.
Yeah, half of our trips have been stayed at that Premier Inn.
Yeah, anytime we've gone from Gatwick, it's usually from there.
Yeah.
We've stayed at a couple of the others further out, one of the other Premier Inns and the Travelodge. The Travelodge was nice. It was just a bit faffy to get there and back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think with parking, sometimes you can get a really good deal with hotel and parking. They're less frequent now than they were pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think, if you're prepared to... Sofitel definitely is expensive for the park and fly.
Yeah. See, the big thing for us about, and probably is with you, Claire, is the M25. And it's just, you never know.
If there's an accident, that's blocked up for
we've
hours.
set a rule now that if our flight is after 1 o'clock, then we'll contemplate driving up.
Yeah.
But it would be, but with anything before then,
Absolutely.
it's nightfall.
If it's a morning flight, we'll stay the night before, regardless of it's 8 a.m, 6 a.m, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll go the night before. And actually, when I go in December, my flight is, I think, and I'm going on my own. I think my flight is like 10:30, quarter to 11, something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go the night before. I'm going to go late. I'm going to just stay overnight, and I'll probably stay in the Premier Inn. And it's just so that I know that I have my everything, all my ducks lined up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things about
so you
travel
know
days
that
all
you
about
are there.
anxiety.
Right?
I think a lot of things is all about the anxiety. So it's certain things is like for me it's always been car parking, because the first couple of times we were given a lift up there. So when I thought look at car park, okay, well, working out times of like, okay, I've got to get to the car park. Is it then a shuttle, or is it a bus to the terminal, or is it like,
How long will it take?
or is it a
Where's it gonna
valet?
leave
And
me?
and it's all of that sort of planning. It's like with public transport, sometimes you never know what's going to happen. So for us, just booking the night before means I can get that done out of the way.
Yeah.
It's then done.
You don't worry about it.
And
the only issue is if you leave something in the car that you need.
yes, or leave something at home.
That's
like your Universal tickets for the entire party, but
when there's 9 of
that's
them.
not a great plan.
no, especially when
But that's the thing, is if you valet and they've taken your car and you realise that something's in the car, you're absolutely stuffed.
Now,
So
we are not driving.
Yeah.
So we're coming at this from a totally different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And we no longer live near London.
Yeah.
So
what
again,
do you do? Do you get a taxi?
Heathrow is a little bit more of a faff as well. Than
we're flying from
Gatwick.
Heathrow, not Gatwick.
We're flying from Heathrow in November.
And the on-site hotels are more challenging at Heathrow,
Yes.
aren't they, in terms of availability?
Well, the Sofitel's not challenging, but
it's expensive.
It's
it
expensive.
is.
But it's expensive.
But we are flying from Terminal 3, and we're actually booked into the Premier in Terminal 4.
Yeah.
Because apparently Premier in Terminal 4 has a covered walkway that you can walk straight into Terminal 4, and then there's a shuttle between the terminals.
There is.
Yeah.
There's also a train.
And there's the tube.
The tube that
There's
goes
also the
from-
tube, so you can get
Yeah.
the tube between.
Yeah.
And it's free to
Also-
use as well.
Yeah.
Also, if you're on Terminal 5 and you're not staying on site, if you stay at the Thistle Hotel, that gives you access to the pods.
Oh, that's gone back a bit. Thistle hotels. We used to stay there when I was a kid.
Yep.
But that gives you access to the pods without parking in the pods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
cool.
interesting. So
Yeah, even if you don't use the
if
car
you don't
park.
use it, so again, you can stay there, try the pods.
We've
and
stayed
go
at Premier
round.
in at Terminal 4,
We've stayed at the
but
Premier
we
Inn
got
Terminal.
lost.
We did.
We're going to stay in at the Premier
Yeah.
Inn Terminal 4.
We got lost.
We got
'cause
lost.
We did,
Okay.
There wasn't a
Don't
sign.
go where Ben and Becca
There
went.
wasn't a sign for the covered walkway, so there was us
No.
walking along the road.
So we walked outside.
Okay.
It's like
And we've flown from Terminal 3 and used the, oh my goodness, what was it? I think it was the Radisson up the road. Or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's lots of
which
hotels
then-
in that area.
And then we had to get a shuttle bus to the hotel. We left the car, we parked there, we just stay in park, and we had dinner there, and then we had to get the bus from the car, the hotel to the air. And do you know what? It was just, that was actually more stressful than just driving in the morning and parking at the airport.
When I went to Sweden, I stayed in. I flew from 3 and I stayed in the Premier Inn, and I got the ordinary bus.
Yeah.
It was 2
Not the
stops
hopper,
and it
just
was
the ordinary
fine.
bus, yeah.
Just the ordinary service bus, and it was fine.
Trying
But
to remember
we-
the name of the
yeah.
hotel we stayed at last year.
Was it the Air Hotel?
The Air Hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
it was lovely.
It's a lovely
That's in the
hotel.
terminal,
It's in the
isn't it?
terminal. And
Yeah.
instead of doing it per night, they do it per hour.
Yes.
So if you know you're going to be arriving late and then leaving early, I think it's £10 an hour.
Or it was. So we had quite a good rate.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's not. I have to
What
admit.
sort of hotel was this?
The Air
Yeah,
Hotel.
the Air Hotel.
Yeah.
So it's designed for arrivals.
By the hour?
Yeah.
It's designed for arrivals. So if you only want 4 hours, if you've had a late flight,
Had a late.
Yeah.
the concern about it now is we looked at the pricing.
I'm thinking very pretty woman. Sorry.
it has doubled.
That's all right, yeah.
It has doubled since last November.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
We priced it up for November, and for one night, even arriving late in the evening, it was about 200 and something pounds.
It's the same price. Oh, actually, it's more.
And,
It's the same price, or about £10 less than Hilton across the road.
Staying Hilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilton's rooms are
And
bigger.
it has no windows. It does
It
have
does.
a door,
windows
but it has no window.
Yeah.
So it's a little box.
Do you know what? It's an incredible.
It's
It's
like
an
the-
incredible
it's like
room.
the
Weirdly,
hotel.
It's an incredible.
You don't
room.
really
Yeah.
notice the lack of windows.
Yeah.
Has it got a digital window?
No.
No, it's got a TV.
A
TV.
magic porthole. No.
This is not a Disney cruise ship, no.
Yes.
But you don't really
you know,
notice
I
it.
would-
If you stayed in the block
Yeah.
or you've stayed in one of the little Premier Inn...
I have to. We weren't
Thingy
fussed
room.
with
Yeah,
it.
they're not
We
bad.
weren't fussed with it last year because it was
You
like
don't know.
we're
Go
actually.
to bed, don't you?
Yeah, I think we were just too busy trying to deal with the onslaught of emails from media of like, you're going to Florida in the morning. It was like,
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, it probably helped
Yeah.
that when we arrived it was dark, so we were expecting to be in a room with the light on and the curtains closed, and when we left it was
Okay.
still
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
That probably
We
helped.
stayed at the Hilton at Gatwick as well, at the South Terminal. And that, I'll be honest with you, we were a bit disappointed by the Hilton. Hilton's generally fairly much of a muchness. You can guarantee that they're going to be reasonable quality. We have used the Hilton at Bracknell when we've gone from Heathrow, because it's about... It's about a 15-minute drive. You can park at the airport, and it's really nice. It's got a swimming pool, it's got a sauna and a steam room. So if you've got kids and you want to spend the afternoon at the pool, the food is fine, the breakfast is great, and it's far enough away for it to be a really good price, but close enough for you to get to the airport really quickly. And so that was really great for Heathrow. But the Hilton at Gatwick, we found to be, the restaurant particularly, to be sadly lacking in terms of quality.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, that's a while ago we stayed there, and I haven't been in a rush to go back. You know,
No,
that's...
it doesn't have a good reputation.
It's interesting from hotel to
it's
hotel
convenient 'cause
sometimes.
it's there.
And the confusing thing with Heathrow, with Hilton, there are so many different ones and types in that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you never know
This
which
is
one
it.
you're going to end up at, or you book one, you think, is it that one? And it's like, it might not be.
That one, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's the same with Premier Inns at Gatwick, though. There's about 3 in the area.
That's true. You've got the Manor Royal,
Yes.
you've got the one on the
Yes.
A23,
The one
North,
at the
there's the
North
A23.
Terminal.
and the one at North.
North Terminal.
Yes.
That's
North
the way
Terminal's one
forward.
you want.
I
North
don't know
Terminal,
anyone
yes,
else.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tad more expensive than the other two,
So-
but
Well,
it's literally across the road.
We're at the hotel.
But not much.
So we're at,
It's the same as the
Yeah.
it's exactly the same distance as it is from the Sofitel. It's just Sofitel has a bridge.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. And also Sofitel, the path coming out goes straight up. But it's exactly the same distance
Yeah.
away.
you just have to cross the road
Yeah,
and you're
of
in
course.
the terminal. It's all
Yeah.
Bada bing,
good.
bada
It's
boom.
fine.
Or only don't do what I did the last time we stayed there. Try to go in through an emergency exit door.
Yeah, don't do that.
There's an
That's never a good
escalator
plan.
or a
No.
lift.
Yeah.
No.
Into the hotel.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah,
as well.
I do.
Yes,
You have to
yes.
walk around a little
Because the
bit.
hotel's on the side,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
Yeah.
emergency
Yeah,
exit
yeah.
door's
It was
right
like-
in front of you.
And you think,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Yeah,
the door,
yeah.
and it isn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I was going to
in terms of online checking in,
Yeah.
do you? Yes.
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 Online check-in, absolutely.
And especially
Yeah.
more recently, because a lot of requirements have been for COVID to be is an
Yeah.
easier
Yes.
way.
No,
So
that's so true.
you
yeah.
have to provide your vaccination, you had to do your test, you had to just the
Yes,
online
yeah.
attestation form.
We don't have to do that anymore at all, do we?
You
No.
have to do the attestation form, but that's online saying that you are fully vaccinated, or if you've got children that
Okay.
it's just
But you don't have to provide evidence of that anymore.
no. You have to provide. You have to take the form of vaccination in with you.
Yes.
It's a great
If
place
you're
to upload
flying-
all of
sorry.
the. It's a great place that you need to
Yeah.
upload all your forms.
Have it all.
So have it all there, and also
Yeah.
print your boarding pass, whether you want it in digital, do it on your mobile, because
Oh,
most
I never
places.
do that.
Yeah.
I never do
Oh, it
that.
annoys me because I like to do it, but when I get to the airport, they go, "Oh, here's your boarding
That's
pass,
because I
sir,"
go to the desk where the.
and it's
Oh, do
like,
you know
"But
what?
I've got my
never do
phone."
it because I'm going. But Ben, I'm going to the desk behind the screen over the side, so they can print it for me.
That depends on where you're flying and
Who
what
you've-
you're flying and who you're flying with. Because BA, if you're not flying in a posh area, you do it by
Bag drop.
Yeah.
by
Do it
drop.
yourself.
Yeah, you do it
Right.
self-service.
You have
Still
to
print
check
your
it online
passport. You still-
and then by drop yourself.
Oh, I
They'll
don't
If
still
you're not
print your
checked in
bag-
online,
your
you've got to
bag.
check in a computer.
Yeah. What I do
they'll
like
still
is
print. You can still print your boarding pass.
one
there.
issue that we always come across with online check-in
I
is
didn't get one
when
printed for Sweden.
you get the message that comes, "You can't check in online," and you think, "Oh no, what's going on?" here?"
Oh,
And then
the
it
SSSS
yeah,
on the boarding
the
pass.
dreaded S.
One of us will normally
There's
always get it.
One per.
It's-
And it sticks with you for about 2 years. That's the thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
disappear.
Nope.
So if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, there is sometimes they do this spot check extra security checks, and it will come up on your boarding pass that, well, you'll try and check in online and it'll say you can't, and you'll panic. Don't panic, it's fine. When you get to the airport and you do check in at the desk, you'll get a boarding pass, and on the bottom of it, usually on the right hand side, it'll have 4 S's. And that basically means that you have been specially selected for extra security measures. You are one of the privileged few. And you know what? I'm not disappointed that they do this. I think it's really important. It's just irritating.
Yeah.
However, that means you will get checked for extra security at every single point of your journey.
Yeah.
Not just at the airport on the way out, but on the way back. And it will possibly happen if you travel again within the next year or so, you'll get it again.
You're a very lucky person to have this option.
And you'll get checked.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
So you'll get checked when you get checked in through the security line.
Before you
When you're
board,
getting to like the boarding,
Yeah.
the pre-boarding, you'll get taken aside to check.
and your bag swabbed and
you know,
everything taken
it'll
out
happen.
and electronics turned
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
and
Every single moment you have to take your shoes off, take your belt off, they'll check your pocket, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Swap
And it
you.
will happen usually, and it's not awful, it's just time consuming, and if you're not expecting it, it can be quite anxiety provoking.
Yeah.
So if you just get the 4 S's on your card,
And
don't panic.
don't do what I
Just
did on the
know
first
that's
time
what it is.
this happened. I was like, what's going on? Because we didn't know what 4S's meant. We just checked in. We checked in at the desk. It was fine. Got to boarding and it was like, okay, can I just go through your bag? I hadn't packed this bag. You had packed this bag.
You didn't say that.
So my thing is, they opened something up, and
Hey,
I didn't know
my
what the
DS
case
was
was.
it. My
I hadn't recognised the
Nintendo
case.
was in-
I-
You would lie to a security
so
officer.
I hadn't lied.
Oh, he didn't lie.
I
He
didn't
just
lie. I
went
was
around and
too
went,
truthful. I said,
my
I don't know
reference
what that is
hers.
in my bag. Obviously, alarms are going off in his head. He doesn't know what's in his bag. So make sure you know
Oh,
what is in
dear.
all of your bags.
Yes, and
Yes.
if you
Yeah.
put something in your partner's case, do let them know.
Yeah.
Especially if
Yes.
it's electrical.
Yep, and luckily it was
Oh,
charged.
Becca, what on earth did you put in there? I want to
It
know
was
what
just my
now.
Nintendo DS. That was
Yeah.
all it was, in case I got bored on the
Okay,
flight.
that's okay then. Nothing.
It was fully charged.
Okay, nothing-
Wasn't
nothing
anything in
else.
particular.
So I don't know what this
to
case
remember
is.
what was in the case. He didn't recognise it.
That was also
Oh,
the day I
dear.
upset the security guard who said hello to Mickey. I
Yeah.
completely blanked him.
He had Mickey on his shirt.
And the security guard say hello to
Say
Mickey
hello
for me,
to
and I
Mickey
just
for me.
I
blanked
need
him.
to.
and then just walked
I
away.
need to travel with
It's like,
him because this sounds like great fun.
It is.
I'm ever the polite one. I just went,
Okay.
we will.
Yeah.
So what about premium security? Because I know that there is the option nowadays. You can pay £5 in advance or £6 when you get to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
At Gatwick, certainly, to pay premium security.
And if you book
Loads
parking
of
with
things like that.
Gatwick, it's now 10% off when you
You
buy
get premium
as well.
security.
So it's one of
And
those.
if you're flying premium or upper
Plus,
class
it's included.
or club or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
that anyway.
It's not currently available at
Well,
Heathrow.
it's
It's only available
okay.
at Gatwick at the moment. But
Right.
I would always pay for it.
Yeah.
What do you think about paying? Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
I would wait and see how busy the airport is and what time you're flying.
yes.
Because if you're flying before 8 a.m,
Yeah.
you probably don't need to.
yeah.
Let's face it, if you're on your own, a 5 is a 5. It's not going to make it. It's not going to break the bank. If you're a family of 10,
Oh yeah.
suddenly
That's a
it
lot
may
of money.
make a difference. And if it's only 2 minutes difference, and
Yeah.
let's face it, it should only be 2 minutes if everyone follows the instructions correctly
They
and
don't
takes
do
the
that.
stuff out of their bag and gets prepared and takes their belt off and takes all of the stuff that they should do.
Not leaving
follows
stuff
all
in the
the signs
pockets
listen-
and
Or just listen to the people that have
Right.
been before and know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
there's so many signs.
It shouldn't
It's
take
just
very long.
the worst thing. I think we had this. Well, we only recently went through Gatwick because we had a little week away. But the thing what surprised us was the queue actually at premium security because there was a spare gate open and no one was using it. It's like there's 2 lines. Why are you just with one?
Because we're British and we only queue in
Yeah,
one
people
line.
don't look.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
And I think that's
Feels
the
like
thing that
pushing past the
sometimes
family of
premium
4.
security, the premium security line can be longer than the regular security line
Yeah.
because people pay for it, and then
Yeah.
it's a bit like having a fast pass or not having a fast
A
pass.
lightning
Yeah.
lane.
Whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever they're called these days.
Yeah.
Actually, if everyone does it, suddenly
It's not.
the premier
Yeah.
option becomes busier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, do you need to? So I think looking at how busy, and it does give you times on the wall
Yeah.
as to how long security takes. Have
Yeah.
a look at that before
Yeah.
you impart your cash. I know you
Yeah.
can pay as you're about to go through, a bit like getting on the tube.
Yeah.
You can tap your card and just pay £6
Yeah.
to go through the
Yeah.
premium. I think I would, if it wasn't included, I think I would wait until I get there
And see what
then
it's like.
assess the situation.
See, we
To
paid
be
before,
honest-
but the difference in time, actually, we were glad we paid because it was Saturday morning, and it was
Right, yeah.
five,
Right.
five,
Yeah, right.
because it's £5 to go through, and we were in and through in 5 minutes. The whole thing was 5
That's
minutes.
it. And there are peak
But
times
On
and times where
looking
it's
at the
worth
queue,
it.
we thought, oh, we're not sure whether we should have paid for this, but then we got slightly further in and saw the queue, and it looked like it was about half an hour long.
And we were like, oh yeah. But don't you feel spoiled by having gone through the secret security line at
A little.
Heathrow?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
it
one
was.
time I went to DLP and we flew. There was a reasonably high alert, so they were splitting off men and women separately.
Yeah.
We're splitting off men and women separately, and one had to go through, and then the next and be searched, and then pick up your stuff. And the woman across went through, searched, and then man, then woman, then man, then woman, then man, then woman, and each one was searched. And it didn't take that long, did it?
No,
No.
but it was
But as long as people
So I think
listen
it
and do
depends on
and
the time of the
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do what they're told.
yeah.
And don't faff about.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to faff about. Just follow the instructions, watch the screens, it all explains it. It's one of my bugbears at the airport, and I just
But if you're not sure,
I
ask
can tell.
because the staff there are great. They're just
Yeah.
there. They would rather you ask
Yeah.
and say,
Yes.
"Do I need to get this out of my bag?"
Right.
Yes, do it. Move through.
They're
Yeah.
not
It's
yeah.
they're not horrible monsters that are going to shout at you. I know everyone thinks that about
Well,
security.
Orlando International.
not
that-
not until
Okay.
you get to the other
Boring.
side and you've left all your liquids in the bag.
Yeah,
It's-
but that's because there's been plenty of
Orlando
times-
International, I've
times
been
to
shouted at
ask.
several times.
What did you do?
No, it wasn't. It was just she was screaming at people to take their shoes off.
She was screaming
And
at
then
everyone then. That's all
Millie,
right.
Millie was. She was screaming at everyone to take their shoes off, like really going for it because it was busy. And Millie at like 6 was like, I need to take my shoes off. So she went to take her shoes off and she shouted at Millie saying, no, you're a minor, you don't need to take your shoes off. It wasn't very nice.
No.
That's why we fly to Tampa, because they're nice to Tampa.
Yeah.
Talking about
We love
coming
you, Tampa.
back,
Yeah.
last time we came back, they asked me, did I want to volunteer to have my hands swabbed?
Volunteered.
And I did.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You mean
And I volunteered
you were
to have
given a
my-
choice?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I was volunteered to have my hand swabbed, and it got us through security in half the time.
Without having to do anything,
Yeah.
without having to take shoes off.
No belts
without
on,
belts,
nothing.
Do you know what?
nothing,
We
yeah.
had that once. They were testing a new. We were at MCO once when they were testing the new. What was it? The thing with the tick, the TSA pre-check,
pre-check stuff.
and they were just implementing it at MCO. They were testing everyone, whether you were international or not, and just wanted to their system. It was like we had bags, everything. So leave everything in your bags, shoes on, walk straight through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was, I was like, wow, if this was what it was going to be like, literally, it was.
It's worth doing.
But we were pulled out of the huge long queue to go and do it. So it was
Yeah.
like brilliant.
Yeah.
Results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's kind of what happened to me with
Yes.
my hand check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're in the airport, what do you do? So you've checked in, you've gone through security, whether you paid for it or not.
Yeah.
What's your modus operandi
To lounge
when
or
you're
not
in
to
the
lounge?
airport?
That is the question.
question.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
I'm gonna-
is the question.
I'm going to be honest, I prefer a lounge.
Lounge makes it simpler,
Who
easier.
doesn't?
It depends.
Past
I
few-
wasn't that impressed with number one lounge
No.
in
Gatwick.
Gatwick.
Since COVID.
Yeah.
Which terminal?
South.
South.
Yeah,
But
I
this-
get that.
Yeah. It was extremely busy.
Yeah.
There were literally only 2 seats that we could sit at. And we were sat next to an extremely chatty couple who talked to us for hours and hours and hours. And there was nowhere to go.
I would be leaving.
And the food was not great.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh, you
crowded.
got the
It was-
microwave bacon roll?
yeah, it was crowded. It was
No.
noisy. No, this was lunch. So,
No, we had a microwaved shepherd's pie.
yes.
Plain food
So,
before you got on
yeah.
the plane.
We really weren't impressed. But our flight is 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. So what we're thinking is basically by the time we get through security, go somewhere, have some breakfast, it's pretty much time to go.
Yeah.
You know, you've got maybe half an hour to just wander around the shops a bit and time to go. So
Yeah.
it's probably
That's
not
true.
really worth it.
When I flew to Sweden, I had lots of time, so in Heathrow, there's a walk-up lounge that you can pay for straight away.
Yeah.
Is that Aspire Lounge or something
No.
along those lines?
No, I forgot what it was called.
What is it?
But it's
Okay.
a walk-up lounge, basically. And it's
Okay.
right at the far end of 3.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you just pay on the door. You pay on
Pay on the
gate
door,
then.
yeah.
They let you in. Okay.
That's okay.
And it was it was fine.
I think for us, in bar once, and I really do mean that, we always have a lounge. Partly because with some bank accounts you get lounge access. So
Yes, absolutely.
that covers some of the cost. But I realised when I started thinking about it in preparation for this show that actually our kids have only flown once,
Yeah.
not going in a lounge.
Yep.
And that was when we went to the South Terminal at Gatwick and we ate breakfast at, I think it was like Jamie's Italian at the
Yeah.
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
It was the day, I think it's 2018, where all the computers broke
Oh,
at Gatwick and there was
no.
no
Oh,
times and everything. So we
Yeah.
needed to be out on the concourse to hear the
Yeah.
announcements
Yeah.
and stuff. But generally, we will always go in a lounge.
Yeah.
Partly because I don't do people, but I think that certainly if I'm flying on my own, when I've done that, I will. Certainly in May, I went in a lounge, and I
Yeah.
think it depends on it depends on how comfortable you are. Just hanging
Yeah.
around, I'm afraid. For me, I need to have, because I'm an anxious flyer anyway. Having that little bit of time away gives me time to compute
Yeah.
and work through the anxiety bit. I think there are discrepancies between lounges, and they're not all great. They're not all awful. Number one, I think, has become sort of the market leader, and years and years and years ago, they were fabulous. Pre-COVID, they had like these breakfast bars which had loads of different foods and stuff. Now that's really much. It's not like that.
And that's the thing with
Yeah.
COVID.
So
It's
COVID
changed
has-
so
has
much and how they
changed
do it.
an awful lot.
Yeah.
But our experience of number one, that was 2014 and it was awful.
We've always
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
our first teacher has always flown with Virgin. We were with Virgin Holidays, so we always used the V room.
The V room, yeah.
Which was-
Yeah,
which
the
was-
room's great.
The
The room is amazing.
Yeah.
Pancake maker. The
Yes.
pancake maker's like amazing.
I
This one happened in the Golden Forest room, the Golden Forest restaurant in Disneyland Paris in Square. Just saying.
We once,
I love the V room. It's great
once when we were flying to, I think it was Italy, but anyway, we were flying from 5, and some places will do you food to take on the plane.
Oh, okay. That's different.
And
Oh wow!
Interesting.
it was Gordon Ramsay's plane food,
Yeah.
and they gave you
Okay.
Probably better than the actual plain food.
Yes.
Yeah.
food in a nice zipped cool
A
bag,
cool bag.
Oh, wow.
a lovely nice cool bag.
Yeah.
And
See a bag in your contacts. Who would you like to call?
thank you, Siri.
Call Gordon. Siri,
Well,
call Gordon Ramsay.
And a lovely zip bag. Let me start that again.
Gordon Ramsay in a
Carry
bag.
on.
Gordon
We're
Ramsay.
staying. That's staying in.
We
That's
wouldn't
not
be
going
able
anywhere.
to have that on the show, no. So
I'm gone. Okay.
one time when we were flying, we picked up this food bag from Gordon Ramsay. It's cold stuff in a cold bag from Gordon Ramsay's plain food, and it was a lovely orange coloured zipped bag. I mean, we've used them a lot since, haven't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea, actually.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a good idea
Saying that we
considering
always bring sandwiches
we
and
always
bits and
bring
pieces
sandwich
on
anyway.
from.
Yeah.
So I saw a video recently. I think it might have been TikTok, where people were talking about if you don't like plain food, take a pot noodle.
Oh, and ask for hot water.
And have hot water, and I was just like, "That's such
a genius
like
idea.
Don't sit near me. Ugh.
That's
But
great.
if it's not, it doesn't have to be the branded pot noodle. It could be what for your fancy.
Yeah.
And
Plastic
just
pot.
ask for the hot water. And I thought that's such a great idea.
That just sounds like you
because
need a cup of
actually, if you're
soup.
going
Ask
on
him for a mug.
I'm gonna bring a
Brilliant.
mac and cheese pasta pot on.
No.
Right?
Why?
I mean,
Tastes-
that's
No,
better
I
than
just wouldn't.
plain food.
It's got to be better
Well,
than those
listen,
afternoon teas they do.
I don't know. We're
It's
going.
not better than the plain food.
We're going upper class next year. So
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Don't
I
do
shouldn't
that,
need it
Yeah.
this time.
Oh.
Right, this is it. The food needs to be. I suppose that's the thing. Is it like chicken or veg, isn't it? In
Yeah.
the plane, and
Yeah.
what do you
Chicken,
get?
beef, or
I
veg.
know that you get lots of comments on forums and Facebook pages around, does anyone know what the food is at the moment? Well, it's always going to be fairly trash, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, because
Yeah.
it's filled with so many additives so that it's palatable at 35,000 feet, that it's never going to be the low calorie, healthy option. I've a really good friend who always says, ask for the Asian vegan meal, because you know that that's going to be fresh that morning.
Yeah.
But it depends what you want, and I think that the kids meal is always something fairly trashy. The food options, particularly in economy on the plane, are poor. So don't expect haute cuisine.
No.
Make sure you take some snacks.
Yeah.
And I know that lots of people are now doing, and I love them actually. We've done it in Millie, where you get like a little, it looks like a toolbox,
But you,
like a sectioned
in the
plastic
sections you
box.
put snacks
And you
in.
put the little snacks in it. I was like, I need one of those. Let me have some
Little bento
crackers.
box. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yes. Some crackers and some sweets and some crisps and some
Sewing
some
boxes, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they've become really, really elaborate these days, and I think they're brilliant. So we love those things. I think maybe I'll make some of them for October when we go.
I'm fairly
Definitely.
snobby with my food, so
Yeah.
Funny, eat that, Peter.
But-
What do you eat on the plane? Do you eat the plain food?
I eat the plain food and put up with it. But this
And just know
time-
you're going to get something better in the destination you're
Yeah. Yeah.
This time,
It's a means
this
to
time
an
we're
end.
going premium on Virgin,
So
so it'll be
hopefully.
a bit better.
Well,
You'll
Be
get
edible.
proper
Maybe.
plates,
Yeah.
knife and fork.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And some kind of
Yeah.
drink to start with. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Well,
what?
there's always a drink.
Yeah. What we tend to do is, or what we're doing this time certainly, is we go somewhere for a decent big breakfast. In once you get airside, and then you're not hungry for a good few hours anyway.
It's
So,
when-
yeah.
It's when you're on your way home and you've had something to eat at the airport because there's nothing else to do at Orlando
Yeah.
International.
Yeah.
You go to like Outback Steakhouse or something, and then you get on the plane and they feed you like 45 minutes after
Yes.
takeoff,
Yeah.
so they can then turn the heat up and turn the lights
So-
out and go
Yeah.
to sleep until you get there. And it's like, I've just
Eaten.
eaten an
Yeah.
enormous meal.
Yeah.
Don't give me more food.
I love it on the way there that it's just the little pretzels, bag of pretzels while you're watching the
Oh, I
film.
love
Yeah.
those. Yeah. I know,
But I think-
it's great fun.
Yeah, thinking about whether you do the lounge or not, I think partly you have to weigh up how long have you got. If you went and had a meal somewhere in the airport,
Yeah.
and then maybe half an hour later you went for a coffee somewhere,
Yep.
and then maybe an hour later you went for a coffee somewhere else, would you spend about as much?
Yeah, probably would.
So
You probably
Spend more,
would.
to be honest.
Especially
Yeah.
I always find the restaurants at airports, there's not much variety. They're so busy.
and more expensive.
And
And
they're also designed to serve you quickly.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
There's actually
Yeah.
So
quickly,
When
yeah.
they
get-
promote it on
Yeah.
their
So
menus.
if you know-
we will serve you within 20 minutes.
Yeah. So if
I
you know
don't want you
you,
to serve me in 20 minutes. I've got 2 hours
Yeah.
to kill. Don't
Yeah.
give me my food now.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but then you got time to wander around the shops.
Yeah, but I
Yes,
don't
that
want to
only
do
takes
that.
half
I've
an
already done
hour.
that before.
I've done that. I've probably done that beforehand anyway.
And, you know, the other option is you go to Weatherspoons and just sit there with everybody else.
Does everyone go into Harrods in the airport and go,
No.
oh, it's interesting, that's it.
That's
off we go."
expensive. Bye.
Yeah.
Never go to Harrods. Ever. WH Smith's.
WH Smith's
Boots
and
are
Boots.
And the
forgotten.
duty free.
And duty free.
Duty free. And
Have a
often I'll
wander
go
around
to
the duty free, yes.
accessorise and maybe,
Yep.
And,
a
they've
couple
got-
of other super dry maybe.
and one of the airports has got a Harry Potter shop as well. I always pop in that one.
That's North Terminal at Gatwick.
Yeah.
Gatwick.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
always forget until it's too late, until the last minute, that I take travel tablets and I need water. So I always end up going to Boots or
Yeah.
Smith's or somewhere and buying a bottle of water.
We always buy a bottle of water for the plane anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that just reminded me that actually I remember when Millie was small and we used to fly and we would take, and this is a really good tip actually, if we would take baby milk with us or baby food, you can actually go onto Boots online and you can order it to be collect it at the
Yeah.
airside
Yeah.
Boots
Right.
at Gatwick
Right, okay.
at the airport. So rather than try, because you can't carry it through security if it's fluid, you can carry some fluid obviously for on the plane, but rather than weighing down your suitcase with if you're using formula or baby food that you know your child's going to enjoy. And you're not, because that's an anxiety thing. It's like, oh my goodness, what on earth are they going to eat? What if they don't like what's available? And you're using pre-made baby food, things like that, or snacks or anything. Actually, if you go online to Boots and you can make a digital order online and select the airside Boots shop and you can pick it up when you've gone airside. So you just go there and you pick up your bag of stuff. It doesn't count in your luggage. It's a free allowance basically, and you can take as much as you want. There's no restriction on it. And we used to do that with Mills all the time. We used to just grab, any formula that she needed, like especially when she was like 6 months plus and she was like eating quite a lot of different things. So we would order some jars of stuff for on the plane, some snacks and some formula, and we would just pick it up airside, and then we don't have to worry about packing it.
Yeah.
So that is a massive bonus, and if you're taking a small baby, do that. Honestly,
Just make sure you book it for the right terminal.
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah.
But you can if you get it wrong. Boots are amazing. You can go on and change it, and you can phone them up and have an online chat, and they will change it for you, because I've done that before. So that's a massive tip for anyone travelling with small children.
I tend to look at the tech stuff as well, just
Yeah.
to see if there's anything.
I do as well, and then go, oh, it's cheap on Amazon.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that always surprises me when you go to different countries, why is Britain one of the few places that puts lots of shops airside? Because so many other airports, you get airside and there's nothing to do. There's like
I know,
two
it's
tiny
weird, isn't
little
it?
shops. And there's a cafe and there's a couple of places to eat in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And you think, you've got these people who are captive audience who are there probably for at least an hour.
Yep.
And you're not selling them
That's-
anything.
And that's the difference. I think in the UK we go airside straight away. So you basically check your bags in, you go through security and go airside, and you're there for 2 maybe 2.5 hours if you're on an international flight. Whereas in other places, you don't go airside until like the last minute. You got to like 15 minutes to get through, and that's going to be my minimum.
See, I can't do that.
No.
And that's the thing. I can't either, Becca. So I go airside.
I need
as
to
soon as I
be
possibly can.
airside,
Yeah.
just
And
in
I'm there, I'm
case
going
there's a
like,
huge queue.
Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? There's nothing to do. I'm going to sit on this carpet and sit.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to pay for a lounge.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go to a restaurant. And that's. I think we have a very different approach in the UK compared to even European cities.
Yeah. Lots of European
Get
cities
security
don't have
done out the way.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
'Cause-
And it's not even that it takes particularly long.
No.
It's just that.
Yeah. Because we were stuck in MCO for 6 hours when our flight was delayed, and it didn't go till midnight. So everything shut about 9 o'clock.
Except the sweet shop.
Even Starbucks and the Outback and so on were all shut about 9 o'clock. So we had about 2 hours sat there with everything shut.
Starbucks closes.
Yep.
Wow.
Apparently so.
And not even anywhere to sit, so we were sitting on that carpet. So I still twitch when I see that carpet pattern.
Honestly,
So when
last time we went to
it was
Starbucks.
horse-drawn carriages from Orlando
that's right.
to Disney World.
Last time we went, we were at Starbucks, and this American guy asked us, "What happens here? How do I order? What's this place?"
It's a Starbucks. They've got them on every street corner.
Do you know what?
He didn't know what a
Peter,
Starbucks was.
So, Peter, I know someone who would still say that now because they refuse to go to Starbucks. It's too peoply.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
let's leave that there.
Yes.
When you get to your destination, you've obviously got to do the transit thing through the immigration and customs. Don't take your phone out. It's a federal area. You're not allowed your phone out.
No.
Don't take any photos. Don't answer any texts. You'll get told off. Just saying.
Claire's learnt from experience.
Keep it in your pocket.
No,
Keep your phone in your
do you know
pocket.
what? Just
Keep
keep it in
keep
your
it
pocket.
on airplane mode.
you just hear so many
Half hour.
people. It's like, oh no, it's
Oh my life! You see it, and they walk in, and the first thing they do is get the phone out. There's signs everywhere. Don't get your phone out. Federal area. Don't. Just don't. And then they're waiting for their bags. And when I was there in May, there was people waiting for their bags, and there was a guy literally just walking around telling people off.
Yeah.
And they're still there with them. I'm just like, just put your phone away. Honestly, what you
just
what
give it
is so
5 more
urgent?
minutes. You're going to get your bag. You're going to be on the first trip of the
Go through the doors.
holiday, and you're on the
Fight the
monorail.
escalator.
Oh,
Or get in
And
the
then
lift.
you're
It's sometimes easier.
that
to get
escalator. Oh, that's
Oh, they've got it sussed.
Yeah.
I did a good job
One
when I
in
was
front,
on my own. It was
one
bag
behind.
me bag, and it was
Yes.
like, oh, I look like I'm professional at this. I did it okay.
this is where you get to the top
the
and go
lady-
over.
Yeah, that's me.
The lady at the bottom complimented me on my escalator style.
Ooh.
I have to say, I was
Hey.
impressed. I was like, it's almost like I've done this before.
This is-
Good escalator technique,
This is
Claire.
the thing. You do
Right.
see so many interesting ways of people trying to just wrestle your
Yes.
bags on that escalator. Going,
It's great fun. I'd like to stand at the bottom and watch. I think that's like the best job of the day.
Yeah.
If you're going to wait, I'm on escalator duty, I'll do it.
yeah,
I stand there and laugh at people trying to manage all this stuff on the escalator. It's much better than it used to be.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there is a lift. If you need a lift, there's a lift. It's fine.
Does anybody use that second
Backdrop.
We
backdrop?
did the first time the first time we went to Orlando International, we did because we didn't know any better. And we had a child, a small baby, a pushchair, a car seat,
oh yeah,
all of
I
that stuff.
can.
Then it might be
We
worth
did.
it then.
Yeah,
It didn't take as long as I thought. It took about 45 minutes for
Okay.
us to come the other end. It wasn't soaking. It wasn't raining at the
That's
time,
good.
thank goodness. But I think we got lucky. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it again. So if you can,
Yeah.
there is a lift. Use the lift. It's easy.
And of course, MCO is having this new terminal.
yeah.
It is.
So I've been told that when I go in December,
Yes.
we'll be going into terminal. I'll be going into
Yeah.
Terminal C, which
British
is
Airways
really
from end of
exciting.
September, I think. It's
Right,
Terminal C.
Right,
Okay.
so October and December,
Yeah.
Terminal C.
It makes me want
I'm
to
already
fly.
excited.
Makes me want to fly BA now, just to go into that terminal.
But there's a reason why Virgin apparently aren't moving to Terminal C.
Why?
Because they're teamed up with Delta, which belong in that terminal.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
but actually,
Yeah.
by removing other airlines to the new terminal, it
It'll
means
make
that
it
it's
less
required
difficult.
on both sides.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's going to be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Terminal C looks like. I'm interested to see what their rental car situation
that's
is.
true.
We're flying in October. We're flying into Tampa and out of MCO. So I think it'll be an interesting. And then I'm going to fly back into Orlando International 4 weeks later, so I'll see it from both ends. And I think it's going to be shiny and
new.
sparkly.
Shiny and bright and new.
That's going to be good.
It's going to be interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got car hire. This is where your next thing from you're at MCO. Where do you go? Do you pick up your car? Do you get an Uber?
Yeah.
Have you booked Mears Connect? Because there's no Metro Express. But you just went your next journey onwards. So for us on our last trip, we got Uber, which was incredible.
It was amazing. I'm never going back to anything else unless we hire a car.
Yeah, it was compared to the experiences of
quick and
Metro Express we've
easy.
had over the years, which was great. I love Metro Express.
Was Uber
but
easy?
So easy.
So easy.
And the thing
It was
is,
Uber easy.
Uber easy. Open the app where we were standing because we were by the store, Walt Disney World store.
Choose whether you want to be picked up from Terminal B or Terminal A.
So we were nearest Terminal A.
And you just went straight outside.
Walk outside.
Yep, done it, and
there.
we saw a couple minutes later. Oh, car arrived there, done.
Wow,
And we're
that's
off.
amazing.
10 minutes maybe.
Yeah, in the whole process,
great.
and
what was the cost up to? You went
that
up
was
to Universal,
$36, and that was for an XL.
Between two people.
That was an XL.
No. And
So-
I
That's
think
great.
it's 30.
It would have been 34 round. It's
34 for a
17
round trip per person
on
for the Mears Connect.
So it's
Don't
not
quote me
much
on
more
those
expensive
prices,
for Uber
but-
for us. And that included
Okay.
XL, so we could have had a lot more luggage.
Yeah.
And also, we got there, we didn't have to wait, we didn't have to thing, because down to we found Metro Express.
Yeah.
Depends on what resort you're at. Depends whether you go straight there. If you end up going straight there, it's great. Sometimes you could be on the bus that's doing all of the All Stars, Pop Century, then Coronado.
Yeah.
So you
Plus you could be
Oh,
waiting
my
on the bus
goodness,
for other
Yeah.
passengers.
Last time we waited half an hour before we even
and
moved.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
By the time that we actually pressed Uber to pick us up, we were already checking into a hotel.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and it wasn't much more, and it's
That's great.
pricing.
We were looking at getting a town car.
Oh, okay.
Tiffany town cars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
we're considering. They do include a grocery stop, but it's 20 minutes. So
Funny enough, you can
yeah.
add stops onto lifts and Ubers, so you
Okay.
can go. Oh, I'm supermarket.
And if you are doing a stop, you could always do a click and collect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
that's what we're thinking. Yeah,
What we're thinking, yeah, we'll say
pickup, yeah,
Curbside pickup.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just want some stuff for the room. We don't
Yeah.
want anything
Yeah.
special.
yeah.
Yeah. Or you could get that ordered to your resort.
Yeah, that's another
That's
option
another-
we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are all sorts of options at the moment. There's also Sunshine Flyers.
Yep.
Which looks like they have employed a lot of drivers that used to work for
A lot of
the Magic
Mears.
Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of Mears staff have gone to them, I think, for
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get the one with the hat, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
I like
And they
the
do
design
look
of it
brilliant.
because they've been all designed on trains.
They have, yeah.
So
Yes,
they've tapped into that sort of Walt Disney feel and like
Yeah.
gone, that's what we want to make the experience like. Where Mears Connect feels just like they've taken the Disney out of Metro Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally what's happened to them.
Yeah.
And the thing about Mears Connect, if you haven't booked anything and there wasn't an Uber and you want to get to Walt Disney World property, you just can go to Mears Connect, scan the QR code, and you can pay and just go straight on.
You can book it
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
day.
So, but with all of our anxieties, we'd pre-book everything.
Except
Yeah.
for the Uber.
Yes, but you can schedule those as well
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So,
You can.
but then you have to drive or end up on Walt Disney World property, and you go under that sign.
Yeah.
And you hear everyone cheer, scream, and realise that you're on property.
Yeah.
Or you head to your villa.
See, I've never experienced that because the only time I've driven directly to Disney is when I've driven myself, and there was a moment of I'm on property, but it wasn't. I was like, where am I going? At the same time.
Yeah, and it's like
So,
I've been up for so many hours. It's like I've got to make sure I stay awake.
Yeah. The expressway was not express. Have I gone the right way?
Yeah.
Whereas we do tend to stay off site, so we don't necessarily have that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a little bit. I when I'm there in December, I haven't worked out whether I'm having a car or not. So it may, all the options.
I think it's more the Magical Express thing, because it's like the bus driver makes the whole sort of.
Yeah.
We're about to be
Oh,
on there.
really?
And it's just the whole
through
thing,
to-
and
Oh,
it just
wow.
it's the
Oh,
cheering children
yeah.
and everything. It's
Yeah.
That's
just
cool.
We had
Yeah,
a
that's
double cheer the first time, because as we went past, we could actually see illuminations happening at
wow.
Epcot.
Aw.
Nice.
We did experience one funny thing, which I think I should mention. I'm not sure whether I mentioned it before, but on our journey to, I think it was Coronado Springs, there was a broken down Magical Express bus on the side. It was literally meters of the sign on off property. It was literally so close, and the comment was like, "Well, they didn't make the magic tonight for them, did they?" And it was like, "Oops."
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm now so excited for our next travel day. I think
Yay!
it's just, there's so much to think about, and I can understand why with travel day why everyone loves it, and whether it is just from just all the things we talked about tonight, from just getting there, even the silly things like the dreaded security, and it's just something that without it, I don't think a travel day would be the same. But like, which one of us is going to get it, which one of it isn't.
Yeah.
But I
Jeopardy of the security.
I hope
And
we
the
managed to.
celebration when no one has it.
That is
And the
true.
surprise.
Doesn't happen very often. but yeah, I hope we've managed to help you with planning your next trip, and we'd love to hear some of your travel day stories, good or bad. So you can either drop us a message to waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com or share it in the Wafflers Arms, which is our Facebook community. So that is it for our 1st of September show. We have a very busy month coming up, and can't wait to talk to more about D23 on the middle of the month show. So over to John, so he can let you know where you can find us on the socials.
Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so by Facebook, Twitter, Instagram @GBMickeyWaffle, or by using our email waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget, you can also show your support for the show by checking out our fantastic t-shirts on Redbubble or TeePublic. The link for them is on our website.
Thanks, John. And there's just one thing left to say. Waffle on.
Waffle
Waffle
on.
on.